Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Kiddushin. We are up to Perek Gimel Mishnah Chet. Today's Mishnayot should be Leilun Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana, Ranbai, Veliyahu ben Burchai, Israelov, Chana bad Miriam, Sason ben Raya, and Yoshua ben Shifra, Menuchatam began Eden, Amen, and Navdi ben Chaim Lechaim, and the Refuah Shenemav, Daniel Shalom ben Rosa, B'tor Shah Cholei Israel. This Mishnah discusses the question of whether a father is believed about his daughter's marital status. The Mishnah begins, Kiddashti et biti. If a father says, I accepted Kiddushin for my daughter when she was a minor, there are 3 stages in the life of a maturing girl. She's a Ktana minor from the day of her birth until she reaches the age of 12 and grows 2 pubic hairs, at which point she becomes a Nara, a partial adult. She remains a Nara for 6 months, after which she becomes a Bogeret, a full adult. If a girl is betrothed or divorced before she becomes a Bogeret, her father accepts the Kiddushin or get on her behalf. Once she becomes a Bogeret, she accepts her own Kiddushin and get. When our Mishnah speaks of a minor, it means any girl under 12 and a half, either a Ktana or a Nara. So again, if a father says, I accepted Kiddushin for my daughter when she was a minor, Kiddashtia v'gerashtia k'shiktana, he says, I accepted her Kiddushin and later accepted her divorce when she was a minor. V'ha'iktanan, she is still a minor at the time he makes the statement. The Emani is believed because a father is believed about the marital status of his daughter who is a minor. This is learned from a verse in the Torah. Therefore, if a father said he accepted Kiddushin for his daughter, she is treated as a betrothed woman and may not marry anyone else. If he says that he accepted her divorce, she is forbidden to a Kohen who may not marry a divorcee. However, if he says, I accepted her Kiddushin and accepted her divorce when she was a minor, the same applies if he said that he accepted only Kiddushin for her. But she is an adult, meaning she is older than 12 and a half at the time he makes his statement, and non ne'emani is not believed because the father is not believed about the marital status of his adult daughter. There is no verse that tells us that a father is believed about his adult daughter's marital status. Therefore, as is usually the case, her status can be verified only by 2 qualified witnesses. Now, a Kohen is forbidden to marry a woman who was taken captive by idolaters. Her captors are presumed to have cohabited with her, and a woman who cohabits with an idolater is forbidden to marry a Kohen. The Mishnah discusses whether a father is believed to say whether his daughter was taken captive. Nishbet ufditiha. If a father says, my daughter was taken captive by idolaters and I ransomed her, ben shi ktana, ben shi gdola, whether she is a minor or an adult, and no ne'emani is not believed and she is permitted to marry a Kohen. A father is believed only about his minor daughter's marriage or divorce and not about other matters regarding her. Now the Mishnah discusses whether a husband is believed to say whether or not his wife will require yibum after he dies. A widow requires yibum only if her husband did not leave children and he has at least one brother. The Mishnah's case is where a man is assumed to neither have children nor brothers, and therefore his widow is exempt from yibum. He claims, however, that he does have children, in which case she remains exempt from yibum, or he has brothers, which would mean that she is obligated in yibum. Mi shamar b'shat mitato. If someone if someone who is not known to have children or brothers says at the time of his death, Yeshli banim, I have children from a different wife, Ne'emani is believed. Since he has no known brothers, his wife was presumed to be exempt from yibum. His statement that he has children does not change the status, and therefore he is believed. We believe him to say that he has children because that does not change her status at this time, even though it could change her status later. If we later find out that he does have a brother, she will still be exempt from yibum because the husband's claim that he has children was accepted, as the Rashbam writes in his commentary in Baba Batra, page 134b. Yesh li achim, however, if he says, I have brothers, which means that his wife does require yibum, and no ne'emani is not believed, in this case he is changing his wife's status, because previously it was assumed that he does not have brothers, and therefore she is exempt from yibum, and now he is saying that he does have brothers, which makes her subject to yibum. He is not believed to change his wife's status. Therefore, we continue to assume that he has no brothers, and she is exempt from yibum. The Mishnah returns to the matter of a father who accepted a Kiddushin or for his daughter. Hamkadeshet bito stam. If a man has more than one daughter and accepts Kiddushin for his daughter without specifying which one, meaning the father said to a man, give me a pruta and I will give you my daughter in betrothal. The man gave a pruta to him and said, your daughter is betrothed to me. Although they certainly had a particular daughter in mind, neither of them said at that time which daughter they meant. So it's unknown which of the daughters is betrothed, so they must all receive a get. And abogod bichlal, however, his adult daughters are not included in this doubt because he does not have the ability to accept Kiddushin for them. Even if the adult daughters had made their father an agent to accept Kiddushin on their behalf, we assume that when he accepted the Kiddushin, it was on behalf of one of his minor daughters. This is because a father has a duty to marry off his minor daughters and has no such duty towards his adult daughters. And that is end of Mishnah Chet. Mishnah Tet begins, Nashim. Someone has two groups of daughters from two wives, and all the daughters in the first group are older than those in the second group. For example, he married his second wife after his first wife died, so all the daughters from the second wife are younger than those from the first wife. And he said, I accepted Kiddushin for my older daughter. When he accepted the Kiddushin, he knew which daughter it was for. Later he remembered only that he accepted it on behalf of his older daughter. But now I do not remember whether I meant the oldest daughter of the older group of daughters, or the oldest daughter of the younger group. Or the youngest daughter of the older group, who might also be considered an older daughter, since she is older than the oldest daughter of the younger group. Kulana surot, the law is that all the daughters, both in the older group and those in the younger group, are forbidden to marry, since any of them can be called the older daughter. Since any of them might be betrothed to the man who gave the Kiddushin, none of them may marry anyone else. However, none of them may marry that man either, because she might be not his wife, but his wife's sister, who is forbidden to him. Therefore, none of the daughters may marry until she receives a get from him. Even after he gives each a get, he may not marry any of them because each one might be the sister of a woman he divorced, and a man is forbidden to his wife's sister even after he divorces his wife. Chutz min haktana shebekatnot, except for the youngest daughter of the younger group, who is definitely not the older daughter. Div Rabbi Meir, these are the words of Rabbi Meir. Now the case is either where all the daughters are minors or all of them are adults who made their father an agent to accept Kiddushin on their behalf. If some were minors and others were adults, only the minors would be included in this doubt, as the previous Mishnah taught. Again, this is the words of Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yossi says, Kulan mutarot, they're all permitted, chutz min hagdolah shebegedolot, except for the oldest daughter of the older group, because we assume that this is the one he meant. According to Rabbi Yossi, a person will not put himself into a situation that might later lead to confusion. Therefore, we can assume that when he said the older daughter, he meant the one who is, without a doubt, the oldest. And the Rav does tell us that the Halacha follows the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. A similar case, Kidashti et biti aktana, a man with two groups of daughters said, I accept the Kiddushin for my younger daughter, v'ni yodem ktana shebekitanot, but now I do not remember whether I meant the youngest daughter of the younger group, or ktana shebegdolot, or the youngest daughter of the older group, or gdola shebekitanot shektana min hakitanot shebegdolot, or the oldest daughter of the younger group, who is younger than the youngest daughter of the older group. Kulan asurot chutz min hagdola shebegdolot. The law is that they are all forbidden except for the oldest daughter of the older group, since she is certainly not the younger daughter. Div Rabbi Meir. These are the words of Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yossi, but Rabbi Yossi says, Kulan mutarot chutz min haktana shebekitanot. They are all permitted except for the youngest daughter of the younger group, because we assume that this is the one he meant. And again, the Rav tells us, Halacha ki Rabbi Yossi, the Halacha does follow the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. And that is the Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.